this lesson, we will be finding the surface area of triangular prisms. So each of our 3D shape is going to be made up of 2 triangle bases and 3 rectangles. I wanted to start with an actual net, which is right here. This is the net of this triangular prism. So notice when we do flatten it out, we see that we do have, this is a base, there's one, and here is a second base, and those are made up of our triangles. So for that, we are going to go ahead, and I'm just going to write 2 bases, and we know that they're triangles, so I'm looking for the dimensions. Here is my base. It is 3.14, and here is my height, which is 5.7. So let's start off with the formula. Area is equal to 1/2 base times height. Area is equal to 1/2 of 3.4 times our height, which was 5.7. So we're going to do 1/2 of 3.4, which is 1.7. We're going to multiply that by 5.7. And so our area is going to be equal to 9.69. Now remember, that's just for one of the triangles, and we have 2 of them. So we're going to multiply that times 2. And just for our bases, the area is 19.38, and that would be in inches squared because surface area. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have to find the area of each one of my rectangles. So let's start with the top rectangle. And I'm just going to number it number 3 so you can see it in the picture. So our rectangle number 3 is the dimensions are going to be, and I have to look at my whole picture. This is 8.5 inches, and each one of these I know is going to be 8.5 inches. So I have 8.5, and my height actually is 5.7. It's pointing, that was a part of our measurement for our bases. So for this one, we're going to say area is equal to length times width. Area is equal to 8.5 times, that was a 5.7. So area is equal to, when I multiply 8.5 times 5.7, I get 48.25. Again, we know that is in inches squared. All right, now I see that this shape, and I'm going to number it number 4, and we only had one of these, and now I see I have one skinnier rectangle. So my rectangle number 4 dimensions, area is equal to length times width. Well, we know, remember, that each one of these lines is 8.5, so I'm going to write that there again. And now here is my height, or my width. So area is equal to 8.5 times 3.4. And when I multiply those 2 together, I get 28.9 inches squared. All right, so we only have one more shape to go to find the area of the 5th part, which is our last rectangle. And we can see the base is 8.5, and notice the height is right here. It is 6.2, or the width. So area is equal to length times width. Area is equal to, we said it was 8.5 times our 6.2. And now I'm going to go ahead and multiply those. And when I multiply 8.5 times 6.2, I end up with 52.7 inches squared. So now, in order to find the total surface area, we are going to go ahead and we are going to take our two bases and we're going to add it to the one rectangle, and we're going to add it to the next rectangle, and finally we will add it to the third rectangle. So we have a lot of adding to do, making sure we line up our decimal points. And when we do that, for the total surface area is equal to 149.43 inches squared. So 149 and 43 hundredths would be our surface area, and that's the answer to that problem. Well, the second problem that we're going to be working actually is not a net. I wanted you to be able to see what you would do with a net, and then we're going to do the exact same thing when we're talking about marking the different parts of this triangular prism. So looking at this, I can see my dimensions for my triangle is definitely marked and very easy to see. And notice, we do have two triangular bases. And for this one, you might think the base is where this is sitting, but no. The definition of a triangular prism has two congruent bases. And since we're saying the word triangle, it must be a triangular shape. All right, so looking at this next problem, starting off with the two bases, I have area is equal to 1/2 my base times my height. So area is equal to 1/2, and the base here is a 6, and the height, notice, is a 4. So when we go ahead and we multiply those, we have area is equal to 1/2 of 6 is 3, and 3 times 4 is equal to 12. So our area just for the one is 12 meters squared. But remember, we don't have one, we have two of them. So we're going to multiply that times 2. And our area for our, and this is for our bases, is going to be 24 meters squared. Okay, so there's our first part. So now let's check out our rectangles. I'm going to make sure that I mark each picture so that you can see it. So I'm talking about this bottom rectangle. If you think about this being a tent that you're actually going in and you're laying in there, I can see that those dimensions for this rectangle that makes up the bottom is going to be, and again, that's area is equal to length times width. So area is equal to the length is 20. The width of it is 6. So for this one rectangle, we have area is equal to 120, and that is meters squared. So here is our second part. Now this one is different than the other one because when we're looking at this, I see that I have a side right here of my triangular prism that reminds me of a tent. And that dimensions of that side is a 20 and a 5. But notice, for the other side, here's a 5 and here's a 5. So, and again, if this is 20, we know this is 20. So that means we are going to have, for this problem, 2 of the sides are actually the same rectangles. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to label this just my sides so you can see it in blue. And again, my area is equal to length times width, and the area is 20 times 5. But remember, the sides are both the same dimensions, not like what we had up here for our net. So the area is equal to 100, but we have to multiply it by 2. So it is 200 meters squared. And now when I add up, and here is my third part, we're going to remember, we're going to add the 24 plus the 120 plus the 200. So we're adding these 3 dimensions that we ended up finding, and the total surface area for this triangular prism is 344 meters squared. And there is your answer. If this video was helpful to you today, please add a like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more Math with Marcia. See you again soon.